Hi everyone, my name is Sasha.
And I'm Rebo.
Yes, that's Rebo. He's my helper for today. Clockwork Orange is the film I picked for my final project. This film was filmed in 1971. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick, one of the greatest filmmakers. Arguably, this is one of his most iconic works. He definitely keeps his adaptation of Anthony Burgess's novella true to its story. In Kubrick's adaptation, we see an ultra-violent protagonist, Alex, commit crimes with his droogs, or his friends. He calls them droogs. He goes to jail and for killing a woman, and he actually volunteers for an experimental treatment, the Ludovico treatment, to make him less violent.
So the treatment that he received actually made him less violent. They kind of put him through torture where they made him watch like super violent films and had a lot of music in the background, which then kind of made him vulnerable to violence and the music itself. One day he was released out into the public population and was greeted by one of his old gang members, and they were actually cops, and since they didn't really like him anymore, they took him out to the woods and beat him up. And after he got beat up, he actually stumbled to a house where he actually committed crimes before, and the people let them in because they didn't realize who he really was. And so they treated him, and one day he was taking a bath, and he started singing a song, Singing in the Rain, which is the same song that he sang while he raped the guy's wife before she died. And they subsequently drugged him and tortured him with the Beethoven music. And the music was driving him so mad that he actually jumped out the window.
So yeah, the film was okay, considering that when it came out, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it was okay. I was actually disappointed that the final chapter was left out, because Kubrick only read, as all the Americans did at the time, the 20 chapter version of it, but there's actually 21 chapters. And I think because of that, the ending of Kubrick's film made it seem like Alex will always be ultra-violent.
So one thing that I really noticed about this film, it has a lot of classical music. Not even that, classical music plus other grandiose type tracks. And honestly, some of it is cool, some of it is not. They keep going to the same theme. There's one song that plays over and over again, which kind of has like this cheesy 70 like synthesized sound to it.
And he won't change at all.
I don't think it ages well, but I guess it fits the movie. There was a lot of harsh lighting. There was a lot of darkness. They did a lot of things in the dark. They used fast motion to like do some time lapses. And just the set design in general, like there was a lot of costumes. Like everyone wore a certain type of uniform, whether they're in a gang wore the uniform. People that worked in certain places all dressed the same. There was like a discotheque place where it was just like this gritty, like electro type feel to it. My favorite scene will probably be, I guess, the torture scene where they made Alex just sit down and watch hyper-violent films. It was really crazy because they sat him down, put an apparatus in his eyes so that he couldn't close them, and then there was just a dude there just dripping moisture into his eyes. I think the only thing I really like about the film is the transformation of the character, Alex, because he went from this super violent dude to someone who couldn't stand violence, but then at the end of the film he kind of reverted back to his violent ways.
Definitely a lot of violence, blood, a lot of rape.
I like violence in films. It's just like this type of violence was I don't want to say too much for me. It just wasn't the right kind of violence for me. So.
Not something that 15-year-olds would be doing. So I'm sure the director definitely made the characters older than what they should have been in the book, which is totally fine with me. I mean, I really didn't like the way Burgess had 15-year-olds doing all this ultra-violent stuff. This whole dystopian novella really talks about how humans have free will, and how the state wants to control that and create something where they can't control. That's why they brainwashed Alex. They wanted to make this whole program so they won't have any more